til senere år. Svetsi.
Year-old Anders Nilsson of the Vancouver Canucks gets the starting goal for the Swedes. He was the winning goalie in their win against the Russians in their final preliminary round game. And for the Latvians, it will be Elvis Merzlikins, one of the most intriguing young goaltending prospects in the game. Plays for Lugano in the Swiss League, posted a shutout in Latvia's last game against Denmark to get them into the quarterfinals. And so the Swedes, who rolled through the round robin, a perfect 7-0 record, take on Latvia, which alternated wins and losses throughout the opening round, but turned in very good performances against the United States and against Canada.
Will be interesting to see if Latvia, which plays a rather conservative style, keeps everybody packed tight into the middle of the ice, if they'll be able to slow down the high-powered Swedes.
And if Latvia gets the first goal, look out. Adam Larsson plays it across to Oliver Ekman-Larsson of the Arizona Coyotes. Kicked in now by Matthias Janmark, and Merzlikins knocks it down to the corner. Here's Mika Zibanejad, throws that to the side of the goal. Ricard Raquel is at a great tournament for the Swedes out there with Zibanejad and Janmark. This line's combined to score 14 goals for the Swedes. That's twice as many as any other line. But don't forget, the Swedes added 4 players just a couple of days ago, 3 forwards and a D-man. Here's Raquel of the Anaheim Ducks spinning back. Plays it down to Janmark. And Janmark, who returned this year after missing all of last year for the Dallas Stars, digs it loose in the corner.
terrible knee injury for Janmark. There was some worry that he might not be able to play as effectively again. He came back, had a fabulous rebound year.
Zibanejad chipped into the front of the net. Merzlikins hangs on for a face-off in the Latvian zone.
27 goals in the regular season, 5 in this tournament for Mika Zibanejad. He has centered that top line. He's had an excellent tournament, and the Latvians had to get down to their last game, a 1-0 shutout of Denmark. An early goal in the first period by Andrej Zernic, and that stood up. That was it.
And they essentially squeezed the life out of that game.
And the crowd and the people in the fan zone, there was just nothing for Denmark offensively. Michael
back from the Calgary Flames, ready to do good for you. Now, centering pass by Ronalds Kennens was knocked away. Kennens, a former Vancouver Canuck. And now fired down by Gustav Nyquist of the Red Wings, brought back by Rodrigo Albols. Finds Rudolf Balcers. That's knocked away, and back at center ice. Backlund had it taken away by Freyberg. Patrick Hornquist of the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of those forwards who was added, along with Victor Arvidsson, Philip Forsberg of Nashville, and Matthias Ekholm on defense. That's a pretty good trade for Team Sweden.
Yeah, it's not like they added depth. I mean, they added frontline players. An already good team became a terrific team. They played this early part of the tournament undermanned. They were hoping they were going to get access to some of these players. I think they probably ended up, Gord, with more than they thought.
You can list 22 skaters on your roster, use 20 in the game. The Swedes play their first 5 games with 18 skaters. Now play back across with a shot fired wide by Roberts Bukart. And you've said before, Ray, you think this is the best Latvian team you've seen here at the World Championship.
I can't remember a team that's as deep as this, as quick. And maybe one of the keys is so many of their players, a half a dozen or so, are young. They haven't had an influx of young players in a while. We saw Bukarts, who's got a couple of goals in the tournament, just fire that shot wide of Nilsson.
So with the issues the Swedes have on defense, only 6 healthy defensemen. They've got 14 forwards and 6 D-dressed. That's a log jam of forwards on the bench.
What it is 2 guys that aren't going to get on the ice very much. You know, in the last game, we saw in Canada, Ryan Pulock didn't get a shift.
Right.
That's a long day to sit over there, and you know pretty quick you're not going to get one. But the Swedes just 6D, and they're gonna have to hope they can make do.
Vitalis Pavlovs plays it through the open wing. Swedes are 12-1-1 all time against Latvia. The loss came in 2009. The tie was in 1997, Latvia's first appearance in the World Championship. They began in Division C in 1993 when Latvia gained its independence. The Latvians worked their way up to the top group in 1997 and have been here ever since. They have flirted with relegation at times. As you said, Ray, 10 of the 25 players in their roster are 23 years of age or younger.
That's really such a great sign for them, because those players can grow. Then you start to be able to change some of the older guys with younger guys. And with, you know, Bob Hartley is there now. He had signed an extension to coach the Latvian national program and try to grow their program into one that becomes competitive for spots.
Hartley took over after Latvia suffered a crushing loss in Olympic qualification on home ice in Riga, Latvia, beaten by Germany in the last game to deny them a spot in the 2018 Olympics. Rodrigo Albols works in now for Latvia. Played back at the point, Oskar Sabolskis. Back to Roberts Bukart, Rudolf Balcers rather. Balcers had that knocked away. And here is Guntas Galvix with it. Lead pass to Kennens. Ronalds Kennens works in, trying to set it up for Bukart. Bounced away from him. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Boy, the next 12 months are going to be intriguing for him if he doesn't re-sign with Arizona. Pending unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2019.
There'll be lots of interest in Ekman-Larsson. However, the Coyotes can't let him get to free agency. If they're aware that he's not going to sign, or they don't think a deal can be done, they got to move him along. They can't let him walk for nothing.
Last 5 years, Ray, Oliver Ekman-Larsson has scored 85 goals as a defenseman. Only Brent Burns in San Jose has more over that time.
He's capable of chewing gigantic minutes. 24 minutes a game in this tournament. He played 45 shifts in the last game against Russia. 45 times he hopped over the boards. It's a remarkable number.
Hampus Lindholm swings it across to John Klingberg, who was number 2 in NHL points by defensemen this year. And now Nyquist. Gustav Nyquist feeds it back across to Lindholm, flips that wide. Hornquist knocks it down, and Backlund feeds it back to Klingberg. Michael Backlund, the Swedish captain at the age of 29. Swings it back across. Now the centering pass tipped away by Richard Bukart. Skipped alive by Klingberg for Hornquist. And now flipped back down the ice by Roberts Bukart.
We probably got a good example there of the way Latvia is going to play in their own zone. They packed 5 guys back in between the hash marks. Sweden's got all kinds of room and all kinds of time to move the puck around them. Nobody even committed or tried to commit anywhere. So the Swedes are going to have to find a way to get inside those maroon jerseys to get the puck to Merzlikins.
There is Ricard Raquel. 6 goals in 7 games in the tournament. At 34 with Anaheim this year. Second straight 30-plus goal year for him.
He's their best offensive player now. Their most dangerous scorer.
Now Janmark trying to dig it free. Got tangled up there with Kristaps Sotniks. And it's literally kicked back down the ice by Richard Bukart. Michael Wikstrand lays it ahead for Matthias Ekholm. That pass picked off. Guntis Galvich up ahead for Miksim Drashis. Now Ekholm wraps it around. Raquel waiting for it. Raquel, one of the early Swedes who came over to play major junior in North America, along with Gabriel Landeskog. As Janmark winds in, Janmark works it down low, throws it back in front, and Drashis picks it back up. The lead pass for Andres Zaric. Now Redless looks back for Zaric, he toe pick. And then long shoot-in goes wide. Here's Forsberg back with it. Philip Forsberg leaves it below the goal line. And now Zaric ships it back down to the Swedish zone as Ekman Larsson goes back to pick it up. Forsberg throws it back in front, knocked away from Kempe by Kristaps Sotniks. Chipped in by Nikita Yefilovs. A loose puck, and Pavlovs couldn't quite reach it. Sticks flying everywhere. Kempe plays it back to center ice, and Sotniks has it back for Latvia. Mentioned it before, Ray, but in each of the last 9 World Championships, at least one lower seed has beaten a higher seed in the quarters.
And we got one today.
Yeah.
So far.
That long shot fired wide by Christians Rubens.
As Canada beat Russia in overtime. That was a wild game.
Sotniks waiting for it. Klingberg knocked it down. And now brought out by Rodrigo Ebols. 7th round pick of the Canucks back in 2016. Fires it in. Lindholm around for Klingberg. John Klingberg. Career high in points for him this year. 67 points in 82 games for Dallas. Not bad for a 5th round pick.
59 assists.
Backlund works in, rolled off his stick. And now brought in by Lindholm. Hampus Lindholm crisscrossing with Klingberg.
Look at where their defense is. Lindholm and Klingberg were on a 2-man cycle.
Redless trying to flip it across, and now the rebound goes to Redless. Ripped that just wide. Zaric tries to play it back. Glove down by Galvich at center ice. Really hot day outside, Ray. This is not a hockey building. It's a temporary ice surface. So how the ice holds up will be a factor as well here in the second game of the day.
We certainly saw in the 3rd period of the first game, the puck started to bounce around a little bit as we get a peek at Rikard Gronberg, the 49-year-old.
In his 2nd year as the head coach of the Swedish national team. Previously that, he was the coach of the Swedish national junior team for 3 years.
Player back at 3 years at St. Cloud State.
Yeah.
Assistant coach with the Spokane Western Hockey League Chiefs at one time. A well-regarded international coach.
Marcus Butavara has scored for the Finns, an early 1-0 lead on Switzerland in Herning. Earlier today, the United States held on to beat the Czech Republic 3-2. Patrick King with a couple of goals in that one. As Raquel winds in with Zibanejad. In shoots, punched away by Merzlikins. Merzlikins has been in Lugano, Switzerland since the age of 14, that long shoot-in block. He's a draft pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets and may be ready to join them soon.
Had an incredibly difficult upbringing, worked his way to Lugano and has put himself into great position.
No score here in the opening period in Copenhagen. Miller Ray Ferraro here in Copenhagen, Denmark. Quarterfinal Thursday in the World Hockey Championship. The semis will be Saturday. The bronze medal and gold medal games take place here on Sunday. As Rodrigo Abols works in for Latvia. Latvia's best ever finish in the World Championship, 7, 3 times. The Latvians looking for their first trip to the semifinals in this tournament. Swedes have won gold twice the last 5 years, including last year, that shootout win against Canada in the gold medal game. And they bring back 4 players from that team. Forsberg back for Adam Larsson, across to Ekman Larsson. Oliver Ekman Larsson snaps that pass ahead, it's knocked down at center ice by Rudolf Balcers.
This is a perfect 10 minutes for Latvia. They have pulled the air out of this place. There's been very little offense at all to speak about. Very little danger in their zone.
This is the closest the Swedes can get to a home game without being in Sweden. We're just a couple of kilometers away across a bridge, but Latvia has a way of quieting a crowd. Now move back in front, knocked away by Freibergs. And now thrown quick line for Ralph Freibergs, had that knocked away. Returns it now for Indrashis. Down to Freiberg. Slides it back to the goal. On the backhand shot taken there by Zaric. And the save made by Philip Gustafsson. Anders Nilsson, Heather. And Nilsson played it ahead. Klingberg has to go off a skate. And moved up by Vitaly Pavlov. Hornquist couldn't quite reach that. And Hornquist, a big hit there on Christian Rubens. There's Rubens. Out to center ice, swept in by Pavlovs. That was blocked, brought back in now by Janmark. Janmark shoots. It's off the leg of Rubens. And back at the point, held by Ekman Larsson. Little back pass there for Raquel. And Raquel tied himself in a knot. And Yevpalov played it out. Now a lead pass, and Zibanejad swung that wide. Zile was all over him. And now Adam Larsson has it poked away. And busting in is Theodor Bluger. Plays it back for Zile. Zile shoots, that goes wide. And Galvin picks it back up at center ice. Richard Bukarts had that pass skip off the glass, up and out of play. 8:42 to go here in a scoreless opening period. Let's hug it up. Face-off outside the Swedish blue line. Johan Larsson will take the draw for the Swedes. Scoreless here in the opening period. And here's Galvich. Plays it across and fired wide by Sabolskis. Oscar Sabolskis will play a lot of minutes for Latvia as that puck went off the side glass. It's offside. Bob Hartley, the Latvian coach, runs a very NHL-style bench, Ray, and a very NHL-style approach to the game.
He was hired to bring change. He's trying to bring change. And so part of it is the demanding and the accountability the way it might be in North America. Hartley certainly is a demanding guy. He's got Jacques Cloutier, his longtime assistant, with him. And I think, as I talked earlier about the youth of their roster, but also there's an appearance of organization that has not been there before. They've always worked hard, Latvia. It's kind of be like all over the place. This way, this style, while it may not be the most aesthetically pleasing, it's the way a smaller country has to play against powerhouses. And that's take away the middle, and if you get a chance, you better hope you score, because you're not going to get a whole bunch of them.
Latvia has turned out some great players over the years as Forsberg brings it in. Philip Forsberg moves behind the Latvian goal, winds it back at the blue line for Klingberg. John Klingberg snaps that pass for Kempe, back in front for Klingberg, who jumped in. And then we've got a crease violation being called against Victor Arvidsson. And the face-off will come outside. One of the great Latvians of all time, Helmut Balderas. The electric train was one of the first to come over.
Came to Minnesota in the early 80s.
There you see the feet in the crease. The face-off comes out. Sandis Ozolic is the all-time leader in NHL points for Latvia. The late Carlos Krastic at one time held the record for most consecutive games played by a defenseman. It was later broken by Jay Bouwmeester.
This is how little offense there's been. Both goalies at the break simultaneously were stretching, like full stretching in their crease. They were both fully spread out in a groin stretch. The shots are 2-1.
After more than 12 minutes of play. So we're on pace for a total of 15 shots in the game. Galvich with it. That long shot. Blocked by Hornquist. Doesn't matter what uniform he's wearing or where he's playing, Patrick Hornquist always approaches the game the same way, doesn't he?
He does. Would be a colossal pain in the rear end to play against. He's so strong. He's heavy on his stick. In front of the net, he's as good as anybody, and he's relentless in his approach to the game. The last player, the very last player picked in the 2005 draft.
Raquel works in. Ricard Raquel now. Galvin stepped into him. Can't get to the front of the net.
You got to be patient to move the puck. That was a hope play from Raquel. He hoped that somebody was going to be at the end of it. Since there isn't, you turn it over and you don't get it back.
Sutton plays it around in drive. She's trying to center it. Broken up by Ekman Larsson. 6.5 to go here in the opening period. Raquel to Ekman Larsson. It is funny, Ray, that so many people in North America think that making the ice surface bigger would lead to more offense.
The most offense ever in games was always in the small rinks. Buffalo, Boston, the old Colisée in Quebec. Like, they're smaller, so when you get the puck, you're on the board. You're one stride to a scoring spot. Here, you're one stride closer to the edge of the circle.
And you can take the Olympics as a lab experiment. Take the ones on big ice, Nagano, Torino, Sochi, and Pyeongchang. Compare them to the two on North American ice, Vancouver and Salt Lake City. The ones on North American ice, much higher scoring.
It's dead ice. 10 feet out by the boards, nobody goes there. There's no need to chase anyone there. Eventually, they got to come back to where the nets are. And that's why the small rinks, the puck turns over and it's a scoring chance almost immediately.
Johan Larsson for Magnus Pajärvi of the Ottawa Senators. Finished the year in Ottawa after being claimed on waivers from the St. Louis Blues. Pajärvi swings it back to Klingberg. John Klingberg shoots. That was blocked in front by Theodore Blugers, who was a late addition to the Latvian lineup. Roberts Bukarts in, shoots. Knocked away by Nilsson. Now centered. Richard Bukarts Spins and fires, put that away wide. And jumping in is Rubens. Rubens back on it now. And Klingberg got bumped there by Richards Bukarns. The brothers playing together. Richards and Roberts Bukarns. And now Rubens has it back. Chipped in by Richards Bukarns. 4:45 to go in the period.
Sweden has one shot in 15 minutes.
Victor Arvidsson had skip away.
The other thing that happens, aside from the game being close, is then the Swedes start to get frustrated here.
Kennens played down around. And now Forsberg has it back. You played against teams like this.
It's infuriating because you think you should get more.
Arvidsson works in, taking a shot away, throws it back in front. That was swept away. Kempe plays it back at the point. Takes the return pass from Ekholm. Now Arvidsson got bumped on the way by Merzlikins, who reached out with his blocker and knocked him off stride. Chipped in by Abols. And Kempe goes back to the loose puck. Ekholm. Up ahead to Forsberg. Chips it up for Kempe. He's got to pry the game open. Team USA players and coaches talked about the Latvian style against them as that pass is picked off. Gustav Nyquist.
Well, Latvia was a pain in the rear end to both Canada and the United States.
Canada beat them 2-1. The U.S. 3-2 in overtime. Took a power play goal in overtime to beat them. Bouncing puck goes back to Freybergs. Now picked up by Ekman Larsson. Rink wide for Backlund. Michael Backlund works in, shoots! And the second shot of the period is stopped by Merzlikins. No score here in the first 20 minutes. .07 to go here in the opening period. In Herning, it's Finland taking on Switzerland. 1-0 the Finns lead there. As Hampus Lindholm of the Anaheim Ducks plays out ahead for Rickard Rakell. Now Zibanejad winds in. Top line goes to work for Sweden. Zibanejad, a backhand shot off the side of the goal. Zibanejad gets it back. Cut across, Lindholm to Rakell, fires! And Merzlikins made the save, and here's the other problem, where you get through that Latvian defending, this goalie's pretty good.
Yeah, he makes a nice stop there, holds on to it. This play opens up when Zibanejad misses the net, but retrieves it. You see, Latvia ends up with two guys wandering around. They follow the puck and go back behind the net. The danger becomes you get out of position when you're staring at the puck. That leads to Rakell getting an excellent opportunity. 27 shots in the preliminary round for Rakell. Almost 4 a game.
Scored 6 times. It's a jarring statement when you say that he's Anaheim's best offensive player, because you've thought of Getzlaf and Perry for so long.
He's their most dangerous player. There's nobody that is dangerous with the puck, one-on-one. The ability to score than Rickard Rakell. In my mind, it's not even close.
Arvidsson works in. Galvin's knocked down away. At the line, Kempe plays it back. And the pass by Lindholm goes off his skates back down the ice, and Lindholm slaps his stick against the boards. Pavlovs Works it now for Latvia in the corner. Throws it back in front, knocked away by Nilsson. Anders Nilsson playing in his 4th World Championship for the Swedes. Now brought ahead by Nyquist. Gustav Nyquist shoots from a sharp angle, punched away by Merzlikins.
Man, is it quiet in here as well. I mean, there is, not to overstate it or keep talking about it, but it's amazing how little has happened in this period.
Christians Rubens up ahead, Richard Bukarts. Bouncing puck at the line. It's called offside with 1:21 to go here in the first.
As you start to press, you take some unnecessary chances. They went offside, but Latvia had created a 3-on-2, mainly because the Swedes got a little impatient in the other zone. You have to get it through your head. It's going to be a slow, patient game, and you might have to wait a long time to get your opportunity. But Latvia would be thrilled to get through this period like this. Now you've shortened the game down.
Lindholm backhands it back down the Latvian zone. Sutniks goes back for it, picked off by Zibanejad to the side of the goal. That's poke checked away by Merzlikins. Zibanejad back with it. Final minute of the opening period. Matthias Ekholm drops it back for Lindholm. That's poked away. Now Blugers has it back, along with Kennens. Kennens tied up there by Ekholm. There's not been a penalty called yet here in the opening period. As Janmark brings it in, Matthias Janmark streaks in. Throws it back in front. That pass picked off by Zeric. Chopped at the line. Everberg picks it up and slides it back to Adam Larsson. Larsson for Ekman Larsson, and passes it behind him. Now Johan Larsson sends it ahead. It's picked off by Galvin. Lifts it gently down to the Swedish zone. Adam Larsson back to pick it up. Across to Ekman Larsson. Looking for Johan Larsson. And now Larsson in, shoots. It's off a stick and wide. Arvidsson fires. That was blocked. And Andrashi sends it out. Johan Larsson keeps it alive. Final seconds now, thrown back in front. And Sweden and Latvia will go to the dressing room scoreless after the opening 20 minutes here at the 2018 World Hockey Championship in Copenhagen.
Shots on goal of the first period. Team Sweden 4 and Team Latvia 3 goals. Shots.
Minūtes nospēlēts, Ronalds ķēniņš steidzīgs uz ģērbēm. Ronalds, kā esam iegājuši spēlē, vai viss ir tā kā mums pat pa labu būtu fakti šobrīd?
Es domāju, ka mēs esam iegājuši labi spēlējam visās 3 zonās labi un nedodam viņiem iespējas. Es domāju, mēs tagad esam pārāk. Mums ir tāpat jāturpina spēlēt un nedot tās iespējas viņiem, un tad jau redzēs, kā būs tā spēle tālāk.
Tev ir turnīra ātrākās kājas līdz šim ātrumziņā. Kā tu jūties uz šī ledus?
Normāli. Viņš bišķiņ mīkstāks, tas kā kristāls, bet, ir labs.
Tas, ka nav daudz izdevības nevienai, ne otrai komandai, tas ir mūsu stratēģijas nopelns?
Es domāju, tieši tā mēs spēlējam, mēs neļaujam viņam uz vārtiem vidzonā. Ķeram viņus uz kontrām un mēģinam kaut ko izdarīt viņu pusē.
Fiziskā pašsajūta kāda?
Ļoti labi.
Paldies, lai izdodas noturēt, lai pietiek degviela arī atlikušajām 40 minūtēm. Ir veiksmīgi sākusies šī spēle. Viss šobrīd rīt pēc mūsu plāna, pēc pirmās trešdaļas 0-0. Good.
Shots in that opening period were 4-3 in favor of Sweden.
How'd they get 4?
Everyone, Gord Miller with Ray Ferraro.
This period cannot be like the last. Can it?
I have experience in these matters. Yes, it can. It's happened before.
Wow, almost nothing happened. That's a terrific period for Latvia because they cut the air out of the building.
And you made the point, Ray. You can't blame them for playing this way. They're overmatched. This is the way they would win the game.
And so now they've shortened it to a 2-period game. And that is, if they can chip away 20 more minutes, they'd be thrilled with that too.
Picked off behind the goal by Jan Marko, fed back in front, and Raquel with a quick shot. He had 2 of the 4 Swedish shots in the first period. Fed back to Adam Larsson, who works in. Larsson drops it back to Raquel, fires, and Merzlikins makes the stop. And the shots piling up here in the second period.
Well, good first shift, and as we've talked about a couple of times, Rickard Raquel is a dangerous scorer. He's so mobile in the offensive zone. Look at him drag the puck around Gunther Galvich's stick for one chance, and Zibanejad's going to find him in the slot for a second, but Merzlikins is able to make the stop and poke that away too. And really shoot the puck. I like how strong Raquel's become over top of the puck, so he can fight for a puck and a chance, but when he gets it in the open, he can really drag it and shoot it. A terrific release.
Finland and Switzerland about to get underway in the second period there, with the Finns leading 1-0. Kennens plays it ahead. Klingberg knocks it down for Hornquist. Brought back around by Nyquist, drops it off for Lindholm. Hampus Lindholm takes the return pass from Klingberg. Backlund plays it off the back of the goal. A long shot in, and that was deflected up and out of play.
Now a lot more difficult for Latvia to play a composed style if they're in their zone a lot. So this first minute is important. Now Sweden's had back-to-back shifts where they've had the puck in the offensive zone. The Latvians have shown in that first period they want to stay inside the dots. They don't want to get out to the boards too much, and they want to stay tight. But when the puck starts flying around the front of your net, it's pretty easy to lose your shape.
Luger shot on the face-off circle, so Roberts Bukarns will take the draw. Zibanejad wins it. Mika Zibanejad plays it back for Raquel. Back at the point is Klingberg, a long shot. And Merzlikins hangs on to that.
So the Zibanejad line with Raquel and Janmark, their best, comes out for the second time in 3 shifts. Offensive zone face-off, and Rickard Gronberg goes right back to them.
And in the 2012 World Junior, won by Sweden in Calgary, it was Zibanejad and Raquel who were line mates on the power play together.
They were dangerous then, they're dangerous now. When Zibanejad skates, he's incredibly difficult to handle.
Won that face-off cleanly back to Klingberg. A rolling puck. He tried to drop back, picked off by Andrashis. Bank it off the boards and out. Here's Janmark back with it. Matthias Janmark drops it off for Hampus Lindholm. Lindholm shoots. And the stop by Merzlikins. The rebound skipped away from Janmark. Now picked free by Zibanejad. Throws it back in front. And Merzlikins poked that away. It's a tap in for Janmark on the back door. Klingberg knocked down. Lindholm back with it. Lindholm up for Janmark. Throws it back across for Klingberg. Drops it back. Kempe a drive. And Merzlikins hangs on to that.
Oh, we've seen 2 minutes of Elvis Merzlikins at his best. He's made a couple of good saves, 5 of them, as well as an aggressive poke check here on the Zibanejad pass. That is a gimme for Janmark, but Merzlikins reads it, gets out aggressively, and pokes the puck away.
attempt knocked down by Arvidsson. Now Forsberg tries to dig it free. This is Jeff Palovs who brings it. He falls. And quickly brought ahead by Vikstrand. For Kempe to Forsberg. Philip Forsberg winds in, shoots from a sharp angle at the side of the goal. Kempe has it back to Arvidsson. Vikstrand. Down to Philip Forsberg. And now Vikstrand swings back to pick it up. Vikstrand played for the Swedes in the Pyeongchang Olympics. They've got 3 from that Olympic team. Lost in the quarterfinals to Germany in overtime. Ronalds Kennens works in. Evalds tries to center it. That pass rolled off his stick, and now a lead pass from Pajärvi. And back goes Freybergs to pick it up. Brings it around, and Kennens chips it back down the Swedish zone. Icing waved off. Evalds. Through that, back picked up by Pajärvi. Then Kennens comes back on him, Evalds. Lost the puck there to Jakob De La Rose, and De La Rose wins that battle for the puck. Feeds it back to Adam Larsson, a shot that goes wide. And Baltzers has it back now for Latvia. Long lead pass for Evalds. To Kennens, spins and shoots, and Nilsson makes the stop, his first of the period. Tough game for a goalie to play too.
Not much going on, and
long drive by Baltzers, stop. Blugers plays it back to Redlitz. His shot was blocked. Now a backhand drive by Blugers. And Nilsson played that away. Blugers back with it, trying to flip it back in front. He's taken down by De La Rose. There's not yet been a power play in the game. And Latvia doesn't take a lot of penalties. Just 18 in 7 games in the round robin.
It's another thing that's changed.
Right.
You know, they used to be pretty rough around the edges, a lot of penalties taken.
The least penalized team in the opening round, Russia, beaten on a power play goal in overtime by Canada.
Gave up 3 power play goals to Canada today. Canada's got 2 games of 3 power play goals in this tournament, one against Korea. Oh, that's got to be a penalty. They missed it.
Hit balls around in front. There's Lickens. He was looking around for the puck. And there's Lickens.
Oh, his pads.
His pads come off. So the strap came off Lickens' pad.
Gord, it was wild there for a minute. One of the Latvian players threw his stick to another player. Watch in the slot. We might get a glimpse of, look at this, right in the slot. He flipped the stick. Richard Bukarts throws the stick to Christian Rubens. That's a penalty. And then in this wild scramble, Merzlikins' pad, his left pad, you're going to watch from the back. We'll probably get a good look at it here. Look at the puck's through his legs, and now the strap is just ripped right off. As Gus Nyquist wasn't able to poke it in.
So Merzlikins fixing the strap here.
The referees have let a couple of things slide by here. You see the thrown stick. There was a couple of retaliatory slashes over by the benches that they've let go.
Referees are Konstantino Lenin from Russia, Timothy Mayer of the United States. Now, see, if this is Artur Zerbe, he'd just make a new pad right there.
He could. He'd have his own sewing needle in the net. Urbe used to, for those that don't know, have his own sewing kit. He had these pads that he'd had forever in a set of gloves and stitched them and fixed them himself. They've got an equipment guy, and Archie liked to do it himself and stitch them up, and those things were ugly as all heck too. They're like speaker boxes. They were huge.
He wore the tank driver helmet with a mask on it.
That was an awful helmet too. One of the most personable people in the game.
So the shots in the period are 6-3 in favor of Sweden. So more shots already than we had all the first. But still no score. Raquel trying to chip that up, knocked out by Sabolskis. Winds and shoots, and Nilsson knocks that away. Galvich comes in, sweeps it down to Redlitz. Michaelis Redlitz. centers it. That pass is picked off by Janmark. And Raquel goes ahead for Zibanejad. Mika Zibanejad drops for Raquel, walks in and fires. Goes off a stick and high and wide. Adam Larsson steps up for it. Larsson backhands it back for Zibanejad. His long shot went off a leg. Loose in front for a moment. Janmark couldn't reach it. Now Janmark spins and shoots. And Sabolskas blocked that. Indrashis for Sutniks. Now up by Larsson in the Swedish zone. He finds Arvidsson. Arvidsson walks in and shoots. And Merzlikins made a quick save there. In comes Forsberg. Philip Forsberg throws it back in front. Kempe jamming at it. And the puck's still sitting there. Evels couldn't find it. Kempe shoots. Merzlikins comes across and makes that save. Here's Kempe again. Drops it back to Larsson. Back to Ekman Larsson. And now Ekman Larsson holds the line. Pass for Forsberg. Shoots, scores! Off the pipe. Off Merzlikins and in. And Sweden finally gets one.
Sweden swarms Latvia for most of this period, but over the last minute, they've got this puck, and it is controlled beautifully by Ekman Larsson and Forsberg. This puck squeaks through Merzlikins and crosses the goal line. Arvidsson creates the screen. It hits the blocker and slides behind him, but really good puck work from the Swedes. They play a little pitch and catch right up by the blue line. Ekman Larsson, Forsberg, and Kempe, and it's 1-0 Sweden.
Philip Forsberg, also a member of that 2012 World Junior Gold Medal team for Sweden. And
they're going to challenge this here,
Gordon. Latvia is going to challenge this, so if they have a timeout, they can do it. It's the same as the NHL. He's challenging goalie interference.
He's telling him to look at the blue paint. He's instructing the official what he wants him to look at. That would be Arvidsson, who was called for a crease violation in the first period. And they will take a look at it now.
If they take a goal off the board here, you're going to lose your mind.
Team Latvia, take the goal challenge about the goal interference.
Checking the goalie interference.
Okay.
Hey, Konstantin's English is a lot better than our Russian.
It absolutely is.
So let's have a look here.
Still good, still good. That's good. He lands back in the crease, however.
Now, was he blocking the goalie's vision when he was standing in the crease?
But he's not in the crease.
Okay.
Still not in. He comes down in the crease. But when the shot is taken, in my opinion, he's outside the blue paint. It's funny, most of the time that overhead view is the best. It's almost the one from the side that's a little clearer, and they're going to get all the views.
Yeah.
And they'll try and piece it together step by step. So look, he's outside the crease, still outside.
In there.
Ooh, that's close.
See, the goaltender interference standard in the IIHF is if you are interfering with the goalie physically or standing in the crease blocking his view. So he's in the crease right there. That's close. Here's the call from Olenin.
After video review, we have no goal interference. That's a clear goal.
So now Latvia loses this timeout and remains 1-0 in favor of Sweden.
Philip Forsberg's first. It's just his second game of the tournament. Oliver Ekman Larsson and Kempe will pick up assists. And now the challenge for Latvia is to create a couple of chances to see if they can get themselves into the game, but they can't go chasing the goal yet, Gord. They give up another and it's curtains. They can keep this game close as long as they can. That's fine.
1-0 Sweden leads on the goal by Philip Forsberg. Welcome to Copenhagen, Denmark, just after 9 o'clock local time on a Thursday night. Quarterfinal Thursday at the 2018 World Hockey Championship early today. Canada beat Russia 5-4 in overtime. Ryan O'Reilly, a power play goal in OT. The United States beat the Czech Republic 3-2 in regulation time. So the United States will face the winner of this game in the semifinals on Saturday. And Canada will face the winner of Finland, Switzerland. The Finns leading that one 1-0 in the second period. The United States will try to win a berth in the gold medal game for the first time ever since 1992 when the tournament went to a playoff format. And their stars have shown up in a big way. Patrick Kane scored twice today.
Cam Atkinson had the other. He's had an excellent tournament. And Keith Kincaid rebounded from a rough start against the Finns. It was really only tough one of that preliminary round. He was excellent. 24 stops in the win today.
Moved by Zile. Janmark gets there first to negate the icing. Plays it around for Zibanejad. Back down to Janmark. Matthias Janmark. Drops it off to Raquel. Back for Janmark. Janmark pivots back. And the pass back for Lindholm missed him. And Nilsson leaves it there. Anders Nilsson played 27 games for the Vancouver Canucks this year. Had a 2-year deal in the offseason with them to be the backup. In comes Raquel. Nifty move by Ricard. Raquel walks in. And that ball stripped him of the puck. And that might be too many on the Swedes.
Oh, this is a brutal too many men on the ice penalty. Gustav Nyquist is at the door, and he's trying to get in.
Team Sweden, 2 minutes penalty, many men on the ice.
Nobody opened the door, so he's standing there. He's facing off the ice. Watch Nyquist. He's going to come to the bench here. He's just standing there, but he can't get in the door. That's too many men on the ice in international hockey. Watch him, he's at the door. Somebody open the door.
Lindholm.
Oh, sorry, it's Hampus Lindholm, but open the door.
And so what happened was Ekholm played the puck.
Yeah,
he's technically still standing on the ice because no one opened the door.
Jump over the boards or is your only other option, but somebody was asleep at the switch and they didn't open the door. So that's as close to a ticky-tack call as you can make. I mean, he's facing the stands. He's clearly not in the play. Anyway, first power play of the game.
Latvia 3 for 22 on the power play. Swedes have been very good killing, allowed only 4 goals on 23 opposition power plays. And they have the puck now. Knocked down by Zaric and cleared back down by the Swedes. So here's your chance.
Get it in, get set up, and if you can squeak one in, then you've carved half a game off and you're tied.
And Grashish down to Abols. Baltzers plays around for Roberts. Bukarts. Back for Sabalskas. Bukarts tried to center it. Ekman Larsson picked it off and sent it down the ice. Swedes making a quick change as Bukarts winds his way in. Bukarts drops it back. And Rehards, Bukarts couldn't get a shot away. Freiberg's back with it. Less than a minute remaining now in the Latvian power play. Kennens winds his way in, shoots. That was blocked by Lindholm. Sutniks now wraps it around. Kennens back for Freibergs, couldn't hold the line, and it bounces back to center. Herning, the Swiss have tied the game at 1. As Sutniks works in. Abels has it back to Kennens. And the pass draws Freibergs out. Final seconds of the power play as Freibergs works his way in. Shovels that towards the goal. Nilsson knocks it away. Richards Bukarns fired that wide. Zibanejad steps back on. Pavlov puts it wide. One shot on goal for Latvia on that power play. Ekholm spins it back across for Lindholm. Long lead pass for Zibanejad. Mika Zibanejad works in. Brings it around for Janmark. And now Raquel on it. It's tied up by Sabolskas. Past the midway point of the opening, or the second period rather. Sweden open to scoring here in the second. With the goal by Philip Forsberg that withstood video review. As Yevpalov sends it back down to the Swedish zone. Wikstrand goes back. Janmark comes back to help out. And Wikstrand plays it around for Klingberg. Up to Ricard Raquel. Flips it back down to the Latvian zone. And Rubin swings back to pick it up. Sutniks. And that's taken away. Backlund centers it. Nyquist in, shoots. Oh, and a save in tight by Merzlikins.
He's good. He's so patient in there. I really like the way he presents in the goal. He doesn't panic. He doesn't move early. And he hung in there and stopped Nyquist.
He was the Swiss goalie of the year 2 years ago. And he's holding them in here for Latvia. Down 1-0 in the second. Back here in Copenhagen on this Thursday night. The Swedes, the 1-0 lead on Latvia. Enzo Corsi has scored, Corby rather scored for the Swiss, and now they've just taken the lead on the Finns, 2-1 there, so 2 quick goals for the Swiss. And the Finns are on the ropes. Brought in by Kennens, sends it back across, and that pass missed by Guntis Galvich, who is in all alone in front.
You don't get too many like that. If you're the underdog, you don't get many that stand out like that, and the puck just skipped on Galvins on the far side.
Joel Vermeen has scored for Switzerland to give them a 2-1 lead.
I thought the Swiss were going to be one of the countries, given the way the Olympic tournament was set up, that was really going to cause problems, and they pancaked.
Arvidsson, a wraparound try.
They had a terrible tournament in Pyeongchang.
Kempe stick broke. I think as Bluger's a chance. In shoot, scores! Theodor Blugers ties the game. A late addition to the Latvian lineup. Blugers, who plays for Wilkes-Barre, Pittsburgh's American League team, has just scored a big one for Latvia.
21 goals in Wilkes-Barre, second-round pick. He gets his puck after Kempe's stick just explodes. He's going to get lots of room. Now he's going to be able to skate it. That's a bad goal. Anders Nielsen's got to stop that. That's from outside the dot. So Kempe's stick must have had a crack in it before it just disintegrates. And this beats Nielsen just over the glove. That's a goal he has to have. We talked about Galvin's just missing a skipped over puck moments before. Balcers makes it 1-1. And Latvia refuses to go away.
Eighth shot of the game.
Sorry, I said Theodor Blugers with the goal, not Balcers. My bad.
I gotcha. Blugers was a second-round pick by Pittsburgh in 2012. He's played a long time in North America. 2 years at Shattuck St. Mary's in Faribault, Minnesota, the prep school there. Played bantam and midget there, then 4 years at Minnesota State Mankato in the NCAA. So 1-1 the score here. And meantime, the Swiss have scored again. Up 3-1 on the Finns in the second period. Raquel banks it down. Three goals in 3 minutes and 55 seconds for the Swiss against the Finns. Janmark works in, sends it back in front. Raquel with a chance. And Merzlikins hangs on to that.
The most dangerous Swedes, Raquel, so far this evening. He gets the puck to Janmark and then goes to the net. Merzlikins makes another excellent stop.
Gregory Hoffman has scored the third Swiss goal.
Finns were not thinking that was going to happen. 3 goals in just over 3.5 minutes.
So last year they stumbled through the opening round, barely got to the quarterfinal, beat the United States in the quarters. This year they ripped through the first round as Hornquist fires that wide.
This is such a funny round, the quarterfinals.
Right, it's just
every year, every tournament, there's close calls. There's always an upset. As you mentioned, there's always a lower seed beats a higher seed, usually in that 2-3 game. Oh, the Swedes are going to be shorthanded again.
Now a tripping call will go to Nyquist. And so Latvia will get another power play.
Swede number 14, minor penalty, 2 minutes for tripping.
Ginsmaya is playing the puck.
Oh, you know what?
Nyquist didn't touch him.
That's a stick.
That's 2 calls that the Swedes have been nicked on that they haven't loved. The first one was really a ticky-tacky call. That's a bad call. And now Latvia, tied 1-1, gets a chance to take the lead on the power play. Maya basically toe-picked.
And now Saboskis with a quick shot, stopped by Nilsson.
Oh, this
another
is gonna...
penalty coming. Ekman Larsson gets the stick up. Now, Zarich went down, and Delarose comes over to have a word with him. The Latvians did draw the ire of some opponents in the opening round with some embellishment issues. But that's a stick in the head.
23, minor penalty, 2 minutes for high sticking.
So it's a 2-minute high sticking penalty, a 5-on-3 for Latvia for 1 minute and 54 seconds.
So Latvia that challenged the Swedish goal, then gets one back by Theodor Blugers. A golden opportunity here
As you like to say, the light will never be greener than it is right now.
This is it. Like, how are you going to get a better opportunity than this? Rickard Granberg, Peter Popovic, who runs the defense for the Swedes. Michael Backlund, Hampus Lindholm, Adam Larsson for the Swedes. Watch 71, Bukarts. He's a shooter for them.
And Zaric for the face-off against Backlund. And Backlund won that cleanly. Lindholm sends it down. What a face-off win for Michael Backlund. They're one of the top defensive forwards in the NHL. Backlund out there now as Roberts Bukarts brings it in the Latvian 5-on-3. Balcers. Back for Sabolskis. Bukarts centers it. Balcers knocks it down. Feeds it back to Andrassi. Back across to Balcers. This pass went off a skate. Bukarts back with it. Zaric standing in front. Sabolskis to Andrassi. Now Andrassi shoots. Kicked up by Nielsen. Rebound. Balcers took a whack at that. Backlund can't clear it out. Now Andrassi's back with it. Sabolskis down to Bukarts. Throws it on goal. Nielsen makes the save. And Zaric couldn't cash. Under a minute to go in the Nyquist penalty. Andrassi flips it across to Sabolskis. To Roberts Bukarts. This unit stays out there. Sabolskis. Back for Bukarts. Sabolskis. Bukarts works in, waits, and shoots through traffic that was blocked as Lindholm got in the way. And now Balcers has it back to Andrassi. 30 seconds to go in the first penalty. Sabolskis to Bukarts. That rolled off his stick. Bukarts feeds it down to Andrassi. Takes the return pass. There's Bukarts, a drive that was blocked. Once again by Lindholm. Bukarts swings it back to Sabolskis. In the corner, the Balcers centered it, and Abel turned away by Nilsson. 7 seconds to go in the first Swedish penalty.
Two really good saves here by Nilsson. This is the second one on Abols. He also made an earlier one with his right pad. As Bukarts sends that to the front of the net. It's on Zernic, but outstanding work by Adam Larsson from the Edmonton Oilers and Hampus Lindholm from Anaheim. They played almost the entire 2 minutes of that penalty kill.
And across, so makes the drive. Nilsson makes the save, loose puck. Nilsson looks behind him, and he's got it. Nyquist is out, just 6 seconds left in the penalty. The Sweden's Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
That's a good couple of moments for Anders Nilsson. He gave up the goal to Blugers that he should have had to beat him over the glove. He makes an excellent stop here on Sotniks. And the rebound almost poked through by Abols. You're going to see the puck bubble up between his legs here. And he just squeezes it back between his heels.
Off won by Zibanejad. Klingberg to the line and out, and that'll do it for a 5-on-3 for nearly 2 minutes. It remains a 1-1 tie. The score here between Sweden and Latvia in the second period. John Klingberg moves it ahead. For Janmark, drops it back. Ray, are there times when you're being defended like this that maybe the simple play is the better play?
Not sometimes, all the time. Because what ends up happening is as soon as you miss a couple of passes, you start to get frustrated, you squeeze the stick. Now you try to make a more perfect play, you never get the puck to the net.
Klingberg walks in, shoots that deflected wide.
Like that, he's trying to shoot that at the net. That's a perfect play. Get it at the net, let it bounce around, pull them out of this zone that they play in the middle of the ice. The first 5 or 7 minutes of this period, right before Philip Forsberg scored, I thought Sweden was outstanding. Now they've had to kill penalties for a few minutes and they've lost their zip.
Meantime, inheriting Leonardo Giannoni in goal for the Swiss.
With his race car mask.
Yeah, up 3-1 though. He's a good goaltender. Forsberg walks out of the corner. Philip Forsberg backhands it towards the goal, still rolling there. And Merzlikins makes a stop inside. Arvidsson missing that one-timer. Ekman Larsson down to De La Rose. Across to Arvidsson. Arvidsson drops it off to Ekman Larsson. Back for Forsberg, and it rolls off his stick back to center ice. De La Rose back for it. This star-studded Swedish defense with Ekman Larsson and Klingberg and Larsson, Ekholm. Nick Lidstrom's doing color for Swedish TV. Everyone from Sweden's got a good defenseman. I'm going to guess that Nick is very smooth on television, very efficient.
I'm going to say I don't think he's wordy. Get a point out really quickly.
Doesn't raise his voice. Never looks panicky. Ekholm for Vikstrand. Lead pass chipped ahead by Backlund. You've talked about it before, Ray Short. They give another penalty to Sweden. Hornquist's going to go off. So with 2:45 to go in the period.
Power play 4 for Latvia.
Team Sweden, 2 minutes penalty, number 72, Tripping.
That's true.
Yeah, he's got a stick between his feet and he pushes his feet out after killing off a minute 52, 5-on-3. The Swedes are going to have to try to hang again. This game couldn't be any more perfect for Latvia. Now they got to take advantage of it.
At the 5-on-3.
By small country playbook, get a goaltending performance, capitalize on your special teams, and when you get a chance, you got to finish.
Face off, one back to Sabalskas. Oscar Sabalskas. Plays it down to Baltzers. Sutnik's for Indrashish. Indrashish. A sharp angle, has a look, shoots towards the goal. Nilsson makes the save. Zaric digging for it. And a pile up of the Swedish crease. And Anders Nilsson holds his ground. De La Rose has Zaric in a headlock.
In the NHL, we see a lot of that high tip play. This is a low tip where Zaric is in front of Adam Larsson. He takes a couple of cross checks. Look how strong he is on his stick. As Larsson's trying to lift his stick, and Zaric keeps his stick on the ice to take the Indrashi's hard pass to tip it on goal. Another good save for Nilsson.
Zaric for the face-off against De La Rose. And once again, the draw won by Sweden. Adam Larsson rings it around the boards and down the ice. So there's a minute of power play time in this period that's been killed by Sweden winning a face-off.
They've done a good job killing penalties for sure. But now this is 4 times they've had to kill. We saw it a little bit in the first game. The Russians took more penalties.
Shoots that in.
Your offensive players never play.
Right.
You're running the doors off the guys that kill penalties here. Larson, Ekman, Larson, Hampus, Lindholm.
And meantime, Zibanejad and Raquel watch the game.
Philip Forsberg, Victor Arvidsson, they're just sitting over there.
Roberts Bucharts winds his way in. 50 seconds to go on the power play. Ebbels leaves it there for Richards Bucharts. Now Ebbels. Feeds that puck back at the point for Zabolskis. Across to Roberts Bucharts. Little slap pass, hit right on. Kennan's got a stick on that, and Nilsson made a very good save.
Through all kinds of traffic that Ronald Cannons is able to find this puck to deflect it. As Roberts Bucharts goes back, this is I thought he was shooting this at the net. Oh, you know what? It hits the foot of Hampus Lindholm, but doesn't even get to Cannon's stick. And Nilsson has to be really sharp to make this save.
34 seconds to go in the Latvian power play. Balls for the face-off against Backlund. Won that time by Ebbels. Back to Freyberg. Long wrist shot. Ebbels swings it across. And now Roberts Bucharts has that block. At the point, Freybergs can't hold it. Ebbels swings it back to Roberts Bucharts. Flips it across to Freyberg. Final minute of the period now. Lindholm goes back in the final seconds of his power play. Janmark picks it up. Kennan's got a stick on him. Janmark works in shorthanded. Poke check there by Freyberg. 3 shots on goal for Latvia on that power play. Bucharts, it shoots past save Nilsson. Oh, he reached back with a rebound and stopped that as well as it bounced off Klingberg.
Latvia easily could be in the lead here.
Now Backlund shoots, knocked away by Merzlikins. In comes Backlund, winds and shoots. He pounded that wide. Hornquist centered it. That's knocked away and brought back down by Redless. Lead pass alongside by Sutniks. And Nilsson stops that. Well, a much more entertaining second period. And these teams will go to the dressing room tied at 1 through 40 minutes. Sweden takes the lead in the goal by Philip Forsberg. Latvia ties it up and almost took the lead here as the puck went off John Klingberg and almost into the Swedish goal.
What a reaction by Anders Nilsson, who rebounded nicely after giving up a bit of a clunker to Theodor Blugers to tie the game at 1. He hangs in for the 5-on-3 and makes that stop at the end of the period.
Quarterfinal Thursday at the World Hockey Championship. Our second intermission is coming up.
Introducing the 2018 IIHF app. Player statistics. Team statistics.
Nospēlēts ir 40 minūtes un joprojām neizšķirts pirmo vārtu autors Latvijas izlasēs, tā teikšu, Teodors Bļugers. Kas bija metiens? Pats nebija pārsteigts, ka bija iekšā vispār?
Nu, drusku bija, es nezinu, Rikārdi labi nospēja mūsējā zonā, es iegāju pretinieku zonu un bija drusku laika un pacēlu galvu un vienkārši uzmetu un iegāju iekšā.
Kā rit spēle? Joprojām mēs esam cīņā?
Es domāju, jā, vienkārši sliktā sākuma bija otrā trešdaļa, mēs viņam atdevu ripu un līdz ar to viņam bija momenti, bet otrā pusē jau daudz labāk nospēlējām un ar to mums arī bija vairākuma un momenti.
nav pārsteigums par to, cik daudz mēs spēlējam vairākumā. Labi, cits jautājums ir, kā mēs spēlējam.
Nu, nē, vajag būt, protams, disciplinēt. Es domāju, tiesneši meklēs mums noraidījumus tagad, lai tā vienmēr ir, bet vienkārši jāpaliek disciplinēt un spēlēt aizsardzību tā, kā mēs pirmo periodu spēlējam.
Mēs vairākumā varam kaut ko izmainīt, labāk spēlēt, lai būtu lielāks rezultāts no tā.
Nē, es nezinu, tas treneriem jautājums, ne man.
Paldies tev, Dar. Jā, 1-1 arī pēc spēlētām 40 minūtēm rezultāts šajā ceturdaļfinālā ir neizšķirts. Dan.
Team Sweden 15, Team Latvia 17.
So here we go in the third period, a game tied at 1. Both goals scored in the second. And the teams begin this third period 5-on-5. Latvia's had 4 power plays in the game, including a 5-on-3. Adam Larsson, lead pass from Matthias Janmark, got squeezed there by Guntis Galvic. Played around for Sabolskas. Rink wide pass. Kennan's in, shoots, and Nilsson makes the save on him.
After giving up a bit of a shaky one, Anders Nilsson has been really good in goal for the Swedes. The Swedes were outshot 17-15 in that second period, and Nilsson made 3 or 4 beauties once the power play started to roll in for Latvia.
Start of the third period in Herning. Swiss a 3-1 lead on Finland. Backlund back with it now. Michael Backlund stood high in the air. Up to center ice for Gustav Nyquist. And Nyquist around with that rolling puck. Drops it off for Klingberg. Back to Nyquist. Shoots. Kicked away by Merzlikins. Flip back in front for Backlund. And then Dracic has it back. Brought in by Redlis. Michaelis Redlis was tied up there by Nyquist. And Backlund picks up the loose puck. Backlund slides out ahead, works in. Backlund throws it back in front. And Ekman Larsson winds his way in. Oliver Ekman Larsson. Taken down in the corner. And no penalty called. Ekholm flips that wide of the goal. Scooped up by Forsberg, back across for Ekholm. Matthias Ekholm winds in, has the puck, shoots, and Merzlikins made a quick save on that. Ekholm down to Forsberg, to Hornquist. Delarose had it knocked down, flipped back in by Hornquist. At the line, held by Ekholm. Ekholm center the tip, score! What a deflection by Arvidsson, and Sweden's back on top.
Much like the start of the second period, the Swedes hold the puck in the offensive zone. They generate a couple of chances, and then coming off the bench on a change, Victor Arvidsson knocks this out of the air. His Nashville teammate Ekholm wants to feather this to him, but he wants the puck to come down on the ice. It never does. It's a heck of a celebration for Arvidsson, his first of the tournament. And Sweden leads 2-1.
Scored 29 goals for Nashville this year after 31 the year before. A 4th round pick of the Predators in 2014. So the Swedes are back on top early here in the third period. Janmark pivots back. Now a penalty coming. It's going to go against Sweden again. Mayo was taken down. Centering pass, tipped right on. That might be in. That's close. It's between the pads of Anders Nilsson. And the referee blew the play dead. Latvia's arguing the puck was in the net. And a holding call coming against the Swedes.
There's the penalty on Janmark. And at the other end, this bounce that Nilsson stops, it hits Pavlov's and it's through his pads. Maybe we'll get a look here. It's going to come through his pads. Oh, that is in.
That puck was in the net. Now the question is,
they don't have a challenge.
Right, but that's not a challengeable play.
Oh, look at this.
The video goal judge, I think, can call down, and they can look at this. This might be a goal.
The only way it wouldn't be a goal, so let's...
The previous play is under further review.
Okay, so if it's a goal, now would the Swedes challenge that for goalie interference?
They quite possibly would, and would the officials say that in his view, he had gone to blow the whistle?
So here's the play. It's a cross-crease pass. It goes off Adam Larsson's stick. And you can see the puck. It's sitting over the goal line.
Now, the question is, was there goal interference? That's close. So I think what you might see here, Ray, is goal, challenge, no goal.
If it's over the line,
wow.
There's Mattias Janmark sitting in the penalty box. He would have the Swedish penalty if this turns out to be no goal.
Okay, so Lemon's talking it over, and here's the call from Timothy Mayer.
The ruling on the ice is confirmed. No goal, the whistle had blown.
Okay.
It's one way around it. Latvia has their 5th power play. A discussion going on at the bench on the Latvia side.
So now back to the power play they go. Abols, Redless, Balcer's up front. Roberts Bukart, as you pointed out, the shooter on the back end. There's a face-off win again, this time by Delarose, and Sweden clears it down. Winning the face-off battle isn't necessarily indicative of who's going to win the game, but boy, in this case, the Swedes have been so good on the penalty kill, winning draws.
Yeah, there's certain times it's really valuable, and the 5-on-3, we saw a couple of wins. There's one now, and
in comes Redless for Abols. Plays it back around. Bukart at the point for Freyberg. For Balcer. Balcers walks in. Back to Freyberg. Bukart. Freyberg's. Long wrist shot. Pivots around in front. And Abols turned away in tight by Nilsson. Redless just shoved off the puck by Lindholm, but kept alive by Redless. And Freyberg's a long shot. Nilsson knocked that away. A minute to go in this power play. Abols wins that race with Ekholm. He's exhausted. Freyberg's long shot stopped by Nilsson, and he wisely hangs on so the Swedes can change.
a couple of opportunities that really didn't materialize to much, but they were very dangerous. Look how open Abols is in front of the net. His deflection goes up over top of the net, but all alone as the Swedes got burned chasing the puck. And then Nilsson's going to make another stop here on Abols again, the left pad this time.
Not even a 22 aside. 52 seconds left in the Latvian power play. Another face-off win by Backlund. This time, though, Blugers sealed the wall. Backlund goes back the other way. Zerinch chasing him down. Sabolska's kept it alive for a moment. Now has it gathered back up at center ice. Sotniks works it on Ekman Larsson. That's poke checked away. Lead pass for Zerinch, who fires it down. Now fired back down by Magnus Pajärvi. Sabolskas up for Abols. Rigo Abols pivots back. Back for Sabolskas. Galvich to Sabolskas. Back to Galvich. Galvich in shoots. That was blocked by Larsson. Janmark gets out of the penalty box and joins the rush. In comes Mattias Janmark. A centering pad. Oh, what a save by Verslick. It's in tight on the deflection by Mattias Ekholm.
Swedes are going to get their first power play as well after Merzlikins makes an amazing stop.
That'd be penalty number 18, minor penalty hooking.
Abols gets called for the hook as he falls just behind the play. He's working to get back, but he's not going to get there in time. Janmark's pass is across to Ekholm. You see the hook.
Ekholm might be arguing for a penalty shot there.
That's not. It's a bad argument if it is. He's got the power play, and You got to be clear of the guy to get a penalty shot. That's a cross-crease pass.
Swedes are 9 for 25 with the power play in the tournament. Zibanejad leads the way with a couple of man advantage goals. So up 2-1 here in the third.
Latvia must kill this.
Klingberg.
To think they could come back from 2 down would be an enormous ask.
Now Forsberg shoots, and Merzlikins knocked that away. Backlund with it. Michael Backlund's had a huge night for the Swedes. Primarily on the penalty kill is Arvidsson. Plays it back across to Backlund. To Arvidsson, centering pass. Hornquist turned away and tight. Backlund plays it back to Klingberg. Long wrist shot, that's tipped at the outside of the post. Hornquist was spilled. And Backlund back with it. Klingberg across to Forsberg, in, shoots. Merzlikins makes the stop on that. And the rebound cleared down the ice by Ginsmaya.
Oh, they moved the puck well, and they got so many shooting options. Forsberg shot the first one, and then Hornquist with a tip off of the Klingberg shot.
Mikko Rantanen has scored for the Finns. They're now down 3-2 to Switzerland in the third period. A power play goal for Rantanen.
Man, that Finnish power play is something else.
Now Zibanejad knocks it down for Raquel. Pass out of the reach of Nyquist. Galvich can't clear it out. Raquel across to Zibanejad. Backdoor pass. Oh, what a save for Merzlikins there on Nyquist. He is putting on a show. Ekman Larsson back for Zibanejad, shoots! And Merzlikins makes the save on that, still loose. Kippen knocks it back. Ekman Larsson scored! And now, Latvia can't challenge this because of an unsuccessful challenge earlier.
Bob Hartley can't believe it. It looks like a dog pile in the Latvian crease. Ekman Larsson's going to get the power play goal. What a play here in front of the net by Adrian Kempe. Everyone's fishing around for the puck, and look at Kempe. Instead of turning around and throwing it into the mix, he just flipped it over to Larsson, left it for Oliver Ekman Larsson, who's going to walk around this pile. The puck's loose, and Merzlikins is going to get piled on right about here. And Ekman Larsson is going to take the Kempe pass and put this one home. A goal and an assist for Ekman Larsson, 2 assists for Adrian Kempe. Bob Hartley's frustration boils over.
Took a while to pry this thing open. Hey, one thing we've learned though, Ray, Elvis Merzlikins is a big-time goaltender.
He's got 1 year left on his contract in Lugano. He's coached there by a Canadian, Mike Lawrence. And he has proven to be one of the top goaltenders in Switzerland. He's got a Columbus draft choice, and the Blue Jackets must love what they watch from this kid. He's really calm. I love how calmly he plays the position. He's athletic. He's got good size at 6'3".
24 years old.
1 year to go, and they hope to get him.
Now Yevpalov works in, fired that wide of the goal. They're halfway through the third period in Herning, 3-2. Switzerland with the lead. Finland's back on the power play there. Philip Forsberg trying to drop that back. Yevpalov played it back up to center right. Galvich lines that back. Latvia has some of the best fans in this tournament. Next year in Košice and Bratislava, Slovakia, Italy, and Great Britain are promoted.
Austria, one of the promoted teams, they avoided relegation, which is quite a big deal.
First time in a decade that a promoted team survived relegation the first year up. So Belarus and South Korea are relegated to Division 1A next year. In comes Backlund with it now. Nyquist down to Backlund. Michael Backlund loose behind the Latvian goal. Throws it back to Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson drops it back to Backlund. Little backdoor pass, tipped just wide by Larsson. Now Backlund back with it, centers it, tipped high and wide by Hornquist, chops it back on goal. Merzlikins had to be quick with that. Sweden buzzing the Latvian goal now. Nyquist lays it down. Backlund trying to chip that in front. And now Larsson to Backlund, a centering pass, bounced away from Hornquist. Galvin finally plays it back to center, but Ekman Larsson turns it right back up. Ten and a half to go here in the period. Luger's had it taken away by Raquel. In comes Raquel with Janmark. Raquel in, shoots. That was blocked. The puck flipped back in front, and Merzlikins gloves that and is able to hang on. 3-1. Sweden leads here in the third.
Welcome to Skoda, fan of the game.
Face off in the Latvian zone. Zibanejad wins it cleanly back to Klingberg. John Klingberg. Back for Zibanejad, moved off the puck. Sutniks bangs that to center and fired back in by Matthias Ekholm. Part of the embarrassment of riches Nashville has on its blue line. Yossi, Subban, Ekholm, and Ellis together. As now Nilsson looked out, whipped on that. Almost poked home there by Theodorus Blugers.
Took a little bit of a bad hop on Nielsen, who was trying to keep the play alive, and ended up hitting him in the glove.
9:49 to go here in the third. Sweden's broken open here in the third period with a 3-1 lead on Latvia. Sweden's win against Russia in the opening round of the tournament, Ray, was their first in the Olympics or World Championships. It's 0-4. That long shoot in. Oh my goodness. Rudolph Balcers just flipped it over the glove of Nilsson, and it's 3-2. Hold on.
Rudolph Balcers, 4th of the tournament, and this is the knock on Anders Nilsson. He'll give you 10 great saves, and then he'll whiff on something that he's got to stop. He clearly doesn't get a good look at this, but this is a 58-foot wrist shot that goes right in the middle of the net. Anders Nilsson is 6'5". If he stands up, this hits him in the Trey Kroner. But he can't see it, so he drops to his knees and makes himself 5'6". The puck goes over his glove, and Latvia's in it still, 9.5 left.
Was just going to say it was their first win against the Russians since 04 at the World Championship and Olympics, but all of a sudden now, this is not a foregone conclusion. Wow. Now Zaranjin. That's knocked away. And now you shoot from anywhere, don't you?
100%. I mean, Latvia is having trouble generating anything. That wasn't even a scoring chance.
And Dragic works in.
Get it on the net.
He falls, Ekman Larsson back with it.
For a couple reasons, Gord. Because Nilsson has just bobbled one and it's in the net, and two, because it's really impossible.
Forsberg centers, there's a chance. Arvidsson walks in, stopped in time by Merzlikins. What a chance there for the Swedes. And they're turned away.
I was going to say it's impossible, it seems, at times to move the puck through that Swedish defense. Arvidsson's not expecting this puck. If he is expecting it, he's going to shoot this right away. Look how much room he's got. But the puck hit his stick and came into his left. As it goes to his left, he's now going to wait to get his body around it to shoot it. He just said, my fault. If he wasn't expecting the puck, it was a mishit in the middle of the ice by Kempe, and the puck came right to him. He just wasn't ready to deliver it.
That face-off won by Eballs, and a Hornquist shoots. Side of the goal, a jam play. Nyquist throws it back, and Merzlikins ties himself in a knot to keep that out. And Nyquist is saying, where's the puck?
We watch Merzlikins in the commercial breaks and when the puck's at the far end of the ice, how he stretches. And so when you say he ties himself into a knot, look at this. We see him do this as he's stretching at the other end. He's fixing his pads again. But this puck hits his backside, and then he's able to close his legs as Sutniks and Abels help him out.
.8:40 remaining here in the third period. Klingberg feeds it down to Nyquist, tied up by Abels. Now a centering pass knocked away from Hornquist. And Kennens has it back for Latvia. Poked ahead by Sabolskis. Lead pass now for Nyquist. Broken up by Kennens, or Hornquist was away. Abels pokes it down to the Swedish line. Here's Larsson with it. Lead pass for Pavlovs. Up for Balcers. Balcers trying to center. That was blocked. Poked away by Raquel. 5 to go in Herning. Still a 3-2 lead for Finland, or for Switzerland on Finland. Raquel. Across the top for Janmark. Matthias Janmark. Works across the top, backhanded that towards the goal. Zile blocked it. Ekholm steps up. Now Freyberg swipes at it, knocks him loose. Kennens was almost away. And Zibanejad plays it back for Ekman Larsson to Raquel. Guard Raquel. Cut it down for Janmark. He was tied up. And now Ekman Larsson swings it across to Adam Larsson. Out to Raquel. Swings it back to Larsson. Adam Larsson works in. Shoots, that was tipped wide by Sotniks. Arvidsson steps up for it. Victor Arvidsson. Back for Lindholm to Arvidsson. Spins and shoots. Delarose picks it up. Jakob Delarose behind the goal for Forsberg. To Lindholm, to Larson, long wrist shot. That deflected just wide. Lindholm fires it wide of the goal. Arvidsson back on it. To Forsberg. Philip Forsberg walks it and shoots. That deflects wide. Here's Larson back on it. Adam Larson swings it down to Lindholm. To Forsberg. Works behind the goal, throws it back in front. Arvidsson turned away in tight by Merzlikins. Great pressure now by Sweden. Forsberg cross ice to Larson. Adam Larson down to Arvidsson. Arvidsson feeds it to Lindholm. Shoots. He hammered that wide, trying to get a tip from Forsberg. Arvidsson down to Forsberg. Feeds across to Larson. Larson shoots, kicked up by Merzlikins. And now Blugers has it back for Latvia by Lindholm. Icing waved off as the Latvians change. 5.5 to go here. 2:40 to go in Herning. The Swiss still ahead by a goal on Finland. Chipped in by Zaric. Ekholm lead pass for Hornquist. That missed. And icing waved off as Backlund won that race. Hornquist centers it, bouncing puck. And Merzlikins hangs on to that. 3-2, Sweden leads. 5:16 to go in the third period. Sweden leads Latvia here in the quarterfinals of the 2018 World Hockey Championship. Canada and the United States have advanced to the semifinals on Saturday. Under a minute to go in Herning. Finns have their goaltender out, the extra skater on. Down 1 to Switzerland. Can Latvia get the puck out of their own zone to do the same here? A bit away from that yet, but Latvia with a long shot goal by Balcers to pull within 1. Hornquist with it now. Chip Senek goes into the Latvian bench. Under 5 to go in the third period.
This is where skill is such a helpful tool for the checking team as we look at the goal that made it 3-2. When you have skill, not only do you check, but you can hang on to the puck. You can cycle the puck and hold the puck. Anders Nilsson's made 31 stops, or rather has made 21 stops tonight, but he's given up 2 goals that have put Sweden in a tighter game than they need to be in.
Face-off wasn't won fairly. Shots in the period are 15-3 in favor of the Swedes. Scramble draw, Janmark on it. Picked up by Redless. The Latvians aren't the only team that can defend. Zile moves it in. Zile was piled in the corner. The puck fell under him. And we're going to face off in the Swedish zone.
Gord, you talked about face-offs aren't always the be-all, end-all, but when there is face-offs that are in the defensive zone, they become critical at this time. Now this draw will be moved to the neutral zone.
Della Rose wins that face-off. He'll get a lot of ice time here down the stretch as Forsberg chips it in.
And he's moved in the middle where Adrian Kempe would be on this line with Forsberg and Arvidsson.
Now Forsberg on it. Philip Forsberg spins and shoots at the fucking wide. And lead pass to Richard Bukarts. Moves with his brother Robert, so now Richard centers it, picked off and moved down the ice by Della Rose, but as he does that, icing was waved off. 3:45 to go in the period. Switzerland has beaten Finland. The Swiss with a monster upset there.
And a wild celebration.
So the Finns, who looked like a gold medal contender, are out in the quarterfinals. That sharp angle shot taken there by Sabolskis. And the quarters are the cruelest loss.
Canada will get the Swiss.
Drop pass intercepted by Nyquist. Moving in, a quick shot there by Kennens. That went high. And back to center ice he goes, Raquel. Chips it ahead for Janmark. He's got Zibanejad in front. Zibanejad tipped that line. Now Zibanejad back on it. Tied up by Sotniks. Into the goalie pull zone here pretty quick for Latvia. As Sotniks picks it up. When do you go, Ray?
90 seconds. But I want control before I go, so they're still keeping them out of the net. Still keeping them in the net. It's too early.
Indrashic chips that in deep. Now Della Rose had Freiberg's knocked that down. And at center ice, it was almost gloved down there by Blugers to take it back the other way. Now he takes that lead pass. Blugers fires it down. Whereas Lickens looks to the Latvian bench for instructions. Chopped at by Arvidsson. And under 2 to go now in the third period. Ekholm plays it around for Forsberg. Knocked down by Sabolskis. Across to Blugers. Lindholm plays it back around. Galvich can't hold it down as Sabolskis swings back for it. Welcome those of you who are watching Switzerland defeat Finland. So 3 of the 4 semifinalists are decided. Minute 25 to go here in the third period. Latvia has pulled within 1 on Sweden. The Latvians looking to book their first ever semifinal appearance. In comes Kennens. Drops it back. The pass missed. Now Freiberg saves it. Balcers works it back across. Bouncing puck. Hornquist knocked it away. The net's empty for Latvia. Oh, what a chance that was.
Oh, Balcers mishit that. He had room. The goalie was out of the way.
And now Sotnik's back with it. 6 skaters on 5 for Latvia. Under a minute to go here in the third period. Kennens works in. Ronalds Kennens went off the official. Della Rose plays the puck around. Sabolskis can't hold it. Race for it now. Arvidsson gets to it. And Arvidsson shoots at the empty net. Sotniks knocked that away. 35 seconds to go here in the third. Sotniks drops it back for Galvin. Up ahead for Redless. Redless works in. Drops it back to Freiberg. Freiberg spins. 20 seconds to go in the period. Freiberg centers it. Oh, you centered that puck. And Indrashic couldn't reach it. Loose in the corner, Ekholm. Lifts it off the glass to Forsberg. Back goes Galvin, had to hop over that stick. Final seconds now of the period. Roberts Bukarts works it across the line. He's poke check. Abo shoots, that goes wide. The play was called offside, I believe, at the Swedish line. There's 0.7 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, Latvia had a couple of near misses. This was the clearest one. Ronalds Cannons has a chance at a one-timer, and he misses it.
And the blade of his stick actually came flying on the ice when he broke it.
Oh, it was sitting right there for him, and he just healed the one-timer. And what has been an amazing effort by Latvia, a fantastic tournament for them, is going to fall just short.
There's actually 1.2 seconds left. The face-off is outside the Swedish line.
So unless something crazy happens, the US and Sweden will play, Canada and the Swiss.
They're looking at the clock here to see how much there should be. The joint will be jumping here on Saturday. We're not in Sweden, but we're right next door. So we'll take a look at this and see how much time should be on the clock.
Bob Hartley was really proud of his team and the way they played earlier in the tournament. I'm sure he feels the same way now.
That win by Switzerland, by the way, over Finland, it's first since 1972 at the World Championship.
Good time for it to come. Semi-final appearance for a country that was a major disappointment at the Olympics in Pyeongchang. Their coach, Patrick Fisher, thought they had a real chance to do some damage at the Olympics, and now they got a chance to work themselves into a gold medal game against the United States.
Scramble draw, and Sweden will advance to the semifinals on Saturday, and there face the United States. Canada will take on Switzerland. Sweden wins it by a final score of 3-2 on an electrifying Thursday, quarterfinal day at the World Hockey Championship.
And he gets a few seconds to announce the best players of each team. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now announce the best player of each team. The best players on each team will be awarded with the official watch by Tissot, official timekeeper of the 2018 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The prize for best player for Team Latvia will be presented by Martin Baumann, CEO of Champions Hockey League. The best player on Team Latvia, player number 30, Elvis Maslenskins. The prize for best player on Team Sweden's will be presented by Anders Ternbom, chairman of Champions Hockey League. The best player for Team Sweden, number 23, Oliver Ekman Larsson. Ladies and gentlemen, now the award of the 3 best players of Team Latvia in the tournament will be presented by Cruiserweight's official sponsor of the 2018 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The 3 best players award are selected by each team and will be presented by Maya Glimnitz, Chief Marketing Officer at the 2018 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The 3 best players on Team Latvia are player number 11, Kristaps Sutniks. Number 25, Andris Jerins. And number 30, Elvis Maslinskins. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Sweden. Congratulations, Sweden, and good luck in the semifinals.
Gord. Gordon.
Gordon, tell me. Tell me. Why do people volunteer for the Olympics Games? There we go.
Get your official merchandise today.
That's the end of the quarterfinal day, right?
No, it's fine. Okay, here we go.
You to remember all your belongings when you leave the arena and look forward to welcoming you again.
On a day when the Swedes and the Americans hung on for wins, the Finns got upset. Canada had a white-knuckle overtime victory over Russia.
Well, none of the games were easy. None of them were under control at any point. And certainly the Canadian game was an example of that. 3 times Canada had the lead and looked like they could take control. 3 times the Russians were able to tie within 2 minutes. At no point did Darcy Kemper, the Canadian goaltender, look really comfortable in goal. And that's a concern for Canada in a position that was probably their greatest concern coming into the tournament. But they got through. And now they've gotten a little bit of a break that the Finns are out and they'll play the Swiss. But they need a better game from Kemper if they're going to advance to a gold medal showdown.
And the conventional wisdom would be it's a break for Canada to face the Swiss after the Finns beat them in the round robin, but the Swiss have won 2 of the last 3 meetings against Canada at the World Championship, including an overtime win last year in Paris.
Thank you.
Victor, first let's talk about your goal. Were you meaning to bat it towards the net or just knock it down?
No, towards the net. I screamed at Colm that I wanted it, and unfortunately it came in the air, but I managed to get a stick on it, and it went in. So that's nice.
Let's talk a little bit about Latvia and the effort they put forth. Did they surprise you guys in the way they prepared to play you?
No, we knew they were a good team and defended well and had a great goaltender, so we were prepared for it. We just didn't want to get frustrated and stuff like that, so I think we did a great job of controlling the puck and taking it to the net, and we had some scoring chances too.
Up next for Sweden in the semifinal is Team USA. What kind of game are you expecting against them?
Well, tough game, and they have a lot of skilled players, and we gotta be aware of that, and it's gonna be a fun battle.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
A hard-fought battle. Your team has to be happy with the effort they put forth in this quarterfinal.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I was kind of probably more disappointed in the end result. They're a good team, but I thought we played well and missed a few opportunities on the power play, gave up a penalty kill goal, so that was kind of a difference there.
Merzlikins played fantastic. Talk to me about his play and what kind of teammate he is.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's been great throughout the tournament and over the last couple of years for us. We know we can always count on him, so he's been huge, bailing us out when we need him, and it gives the other guys a lot of confidence when he's back there.
In terms of an experience bank, this is a pretty big deposit for Latvia. How will you use this moving forward?
Hopefully to build on it and come back next year stronger, learn from this experience, and I think we want to become a consistent team where we're consistently in contention and in the quarterfinals and stuff. So
best of luck next year.
Thanks.